Just a quick tutorial on using ink with your stencils. When you buy blending brushes / makeup brushes, you usually get some teeny tiny ones here, like this. You'll get 4 or 5 smaller brush heads. And these are great for doing the more intricate, smaller stencils. So I just wanted to show you really quickly how to mask off using your tape. And again, please forgive me because I'm going to put the tape in the bin, but you would wipe it clean and then reuse it. It's just for, you know, just because you don't want to sit here watching me clean tape. So I'm going to use my Distress Oxides again. You can use any ink pads that you've got, and I'm picking up a small amount of ink on my brush. And then I'm just going to go in and I'm going to start and work in these smaller areas. So I'll do this leaf, I'll do the top part because I've already got one that I've completed so you can see, but I just wanted you to see how I mask it off so you've got an idea of what to do. I'm sure loads of you know how to do this, and I'm probably teaching my granny to suck eggs here, but it's always worth covering those basics again. So I'm just working my way through. It's not as quick as paint, and I find that if you work methodically, you get a better finish rather than doing a bit here and a bit there, because otherwise you're just constantly going backwards and forwards. So just work quite methodically, and you can blend it out as you get towards the end. So if you want to add light and shade, you can work that ink a little bit more rather than adding more, and just soften it as it comes to the end of that leaf. Okay, now I've got another leaf here, so I'm going to go ahead and do part of that as well. So I'm just allowing that brush to do the work, and it looks like you don't have a lot of ink on your brush, but it actually keeps going for quite a while. So just utilize what you've got. Just make sure that your brushes are nice and dry before you do this. So if you've washed them, make sure they're nice and dry, because you don't want any moisture to seep underneath the stencil, and you also don't want to be putting water on your ink pad. So now I've got those two kind of done. If I want to do these bits, what I would then do is take my tape, and you can have a whole, you know, just allocate some of your tape to this technique. Maybe pop it on your table, or like I do on my die cutting machine. So I'm just going to mask off that leaf, and I'm going to mask off. Now, if you've kept the pieces from your stencil, you can pop the pieces back in, and then you don't need to do this with your tape. So it's up to you whether you want, which way you want to do it. If you're happy to save all the pieces and put them back in like a jigsaw, brilliant. If you're not, then tape. Personally, I think tape is quicker. It's fine when you've got a big stencil, a big area. When you've got a small area, it's a lot of fiddly pieces to put back in, and then you've got to remember which way around they were. So I'm opting for tape personally, but it's up to you. So just, you can see I've masked off round that little circle, and then I will just pick up my pink on here, and you can stipple with these as well if you want a softer finish, but I tend to just swirl like that. And what you'll find is that at some point you might need to take your stencil off to clean it and then put it back in place, because you'll have lots of bits of ink everywhere, and you don't necessarily want to transfer the green into a yellow, for example. And then I can take this piece of tape and move it, and I can take this piece of tape off from under here and pop that there. And then I can do another piece of tape. Well, I can actually take, no, I need that one to stay where it is. So you've got to think where you're going to put your ink. So this stencil I've cut out of dough flakes, but because you're not adding a wet medium like paste, you can cut it out card if you wanted to. And then I'll just do that heart there as well. And then I could move that one over and pop that there, and then pick up my yellow brush and put some yellow on that little flourish there. It's a really mindful thing to do, I find this. I find it really relaxing. And again, it's one of those that you think, oh, that doesn't look very good, but when you reveal it, it looks fabulous. So it's a feel-good craft. Right, so I'm going to take all these bits off now, I've created a hinge at the top, which we talked about in one of the other tutorials, so I can lift it to see where I'm at, and you can see we're starting to get that pattern appearing there. And look how you can go really light if you want to. That's blended out at the top there, getting lighter. So I'm going to bring one in that I've already done, which is this one. So it took me probably about half an hour, but it's a lovely, and you could always photocopy that. If you wanted to make 100 cards with that, you could always photocopy it once you've done one. And then I've cut it out of card, so I've actually cut the stencil as it is into the card, and then I might put this on something like 3D foam, so it gives you that dimensional finish. And the higher you go, so you can see the colour through, but it gives you that dimensional finish. You could make this part into your card blank, so this will be a card front, and that could be on the inside of your card. So it's whatever you know, however you want to use it, but I thought it was a really nice technique just to have that like that. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to tidy up and then we'll come back and do something else.